you'll need to start understanding how big and how wide you want corridors to be. What's the metrics for your game? How high someone can jump? How far, someone can shoot or slide or
You spoke briefly about using your blockouts as part of the process of level design. Can you share with us what goes through your mind before that when you first got the brief of the project or pieces of it? Because sometimes not just level design, but game development in general is very organic. Things change a lot. And what would you go through in the early stages, even before the blockouts? Share with us.
So this stage here is pre-production or planning. Again, different places call it different things. But this is probably one of the most crucial points of level design that I cannot stress out about enough.
Same here, man.
Yeah, man, it's a very important thing. And I get why people want to jump in and make something right away, because of the fact that it's the fun part. It's the really fun part.
It's true, yeah.
It is, yeah. But so what will tend to happen is we'll get a brief telling us what is it we kind of want in that. And then we'll break down kind of what is the beats of the level, what is generally happening. Are we traversing? What are we interacting with? Is there combat? All of these will kind of break down, as well as understanding the main goal. So when we do that and we have a bit of narrative story to it and we know what the location is, we'll start planning, for example, kind of a pacing graph. What should the pace be for it? How do we get that flow really well? There's a great video by Extra Credits. They do a talk about pacing with Star Wars, and it's a really great breakdown for people who may not have an understanding of what that is. And after we do that, we then start to talk with, maybe we're working with a quest designer or a mission designer. Those roles are the ones who create the brief for the mission, and they'll be working alongside you to get the overall feeling of that mission and that. So once we have that sorted, we'll start to do research. And in research, gather as much references as you can, pictures, videos, floor plans, all of these. And I cannot stress that enough. Floor plans are crucial. I really recommend that you grab, especially as a level designer, them to start with. And after we've done that, we'll then start to draw out 2D maps on, say, for example, on a gritty piece of paper. I'll just show, because I know some people do it on different ones, but I do think it's important if the camera gets that well. But
it's got grid lines on it, right?
Yeah, exactly. The reason that I share about that is that gives you a sense of scaling and space compared to maybe some people just use normal paper, or maybe I've seen some people use what is it called, PowerPoint or a drawing thing, which doesn't have that, which is fine for a start, but you'll need to start understanding how big and how wide you want corridors to be. What's the metrics for your game? How high someone can jump? How far someone can shoot or slide or something like that. Whatever your mechanics are needed. So by doing that, you can translate that easily in the editor, because hopefully your level design pieces will be gridded as well. So that way one square on your paper maybe 1 meter or whatever you're using, and then it will use that same thing when you translate it across to your editor, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. When you first start out doing or having a taste of game development, you're like, can we just skip to the fun part? And then you realize when you're given that blank piece of, no, not paper, but the entire screen where it's blank, and the engine's just waiting for you, okay, what do you want to do? And without any experience, you're like, I have no idea. And this is when a lot of people get stuck as well, because they think that no rules, so I can do whatever I want, which is also another barrier, I think, to a lot of people's creativity. It's not that you don't have enough freedom. It's more about how can you get creative in solving problems when you're given a specific scenario, right? Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. It is due to their generosity that I'm able to make more games and more videos like this one. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing for more game dev tips, tutorials, and inspiration. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.